Kasama pa rin natin dito sa Kababayan Today si Ryan Letada at kausapin natin siya tungkol sa kanyang experience about living here in America. So, Ryan, dumating ka dito ng 11 years old.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was incredibly interesting because one of the things that my dad was telling me when we were in the Philippines was that, hey, we're going to go to America, there's going to be a 24-hour news show. Right? I mean, a cartoon network.
Yeah.
And so I was incredibly excited. And then I come here, and we actually moved to the Bronx, a predominantly Black and Hispanic neighborhood. And that was not what America looked like to me in the television shows that I saw in the U.S., in the Philippines. And so that was a culture shock for me, going through that whole process of understanding, you know, what it means to live in America. In America,
yeah.
in the Bronx.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, actually. When Apple de App was here, he had the same experience because he got to go to Disneyland and Universal Studios. So he was like, I want to move to America, you know, because it's Disneyland, Universal. And then it hits you hard when you're here and you get homesick. Did you go through that?
I did not go through homesick as much. I did miss my family in the Philippines, my lola and lolo who raised me. But I think what was a shock for me was the level of hard work that my mom and my dad went through. And I didn't really understand it up until like being an adult, but working night shifts as a nurse. And my dad, he's a painter in this huge building. He's the only painter, and every day he would smell paint. And to understand that this is what they had to go through for us.
Yeah. There's a word
humbling.
for that. It's called kayod. Diba?
Yeah.
Tayong mga Pilipino, marunong tayong kumayod.
Yeah.
Right?
Kumayod. And
Kumayod.
Talagang ganun, diba? And it's, but it's something for young, second, third generation folks, I think, need to really understand their story, was that they had to go through so much to get to where they are. And, you know, sometimes I speak to young Filipino Americans, they ask, you know, why are my parents so tough and kind of like seem so shelled off? Because that's the life for them here in the 70s and 80s. And so I think that is something I've come to incredibly appreciate, how hard they worked for us.
Right. Okay, so tell me about NextDayBetter. How was this born? Why did you want to come up with this kind of platform? What did you understand that there was a lack of in our community?
Yeah, multiple things, right? I'm going to talk about two things. One is I work in the tech startup industry in New York City. I put together social innovation conferences that highlight the geniuses around the world, world-changing people. And I barely get to see a person like me, a person that is brown, a person that is Filipino. You know what that tells a lot of people? That tells a lot of people that world-changing ideas do not come from the Philippines when we are not shared on these stages. So that was something that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
That's something that I wanted to change because I know that they are, and this is the wonderful thing, right? Our parents moved here in the 70s and 80s. They gave birth to us. They brought us here when we were young. Now we are adults. Now we are decision makers. We are influencers. We are principals of Fortune 500 companies.
Right.
That is something to recognize.
Yes.
And I wanted to highlight that through our NextDayBetter platform.
It's amazing that you say that. In fact, I'm getting goosebumps again. It seems like Kababayan Today's mission is so aligned with NextDayBetter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot and we're going to shake hands because we're going to share speakers. And I want to know everything that's going on with NextDayBetter. I want to make sure that, you know, all the talks you guys have, we know about here on Kababayan Today, because it's really important for me specifically to be able to highlight Filipinos that have something to share to the community, because there's so many Filipino Americans that look on television and don't see themselves and therefore don't recognize their identity because they aren't represented in media. And to be able to give them a platform to share their ideas and their success story, I mean, that's really inspiring.
Yeah, and I'm incredibly excited. I mean, so NextDayBetter, we started about a year ago. And now we have our speaker series events in 6 cities across 4 countries, because this is a global Filipino community. And we are highlighting folks that are in entrepreneurship, in design, and creatives. Let me give you like a couple examples. May I?
Yes,
because I love just like being proud about the speakers on our stage.
Right, and it's not like the Filipino, you know, when you're a Filipino, sometimes you like to name drop.
Yeah.
But this is not that kind of name dropping, because these people are legit. You know what I'm saying? So please talk to me about the speakers you've had.
So we've had, I mean, the one off the bat is Jose Antonio Vargas.
Of course.
Pulitzer winner, used to work for, write for the New York Times, and now he is fighting the undocumented cause for people that are going through that strife here in America.
That struggle is real.
Yeah.
And he's giving a voice to that, to millions, I'm sure, of people that are under the same predicament.
Exactly. So that's one person. We also have Tara Abrahams. She is one of the lead people that is pushing forward this documentary called Girl Rising. It's about educating girls from around the world, in developing countries around the world. And it's about giving them that opportunity to take it to the next level, right? So that's Tara Abrahams. We also have Gina Rosero. Have you ever heard of Gina?
Of course I know Gina. Gina is the transgender, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Filipina. She's beautiful.
She is incredibly beautiful inside and out. And what is amazing about her was that she was a fashion runway model. She was in music videos, and she had this thriving career. And as of this 2014, she decided to come out as a transgendered person.
That's amazing.
And she was invited to speak at the White House. She was invited to speak around the world.
Well, okay, when we come back here on Kababayan Today, you and I are going to play a little game. You know, we like to play games here. Try to keep it fun, okay? So be ready for that. Kasama natin si Ryan Letada dito sa Kababayan Today.